Introduction. Welcome to Explore and Discover Curious World, the channel that takes you straight into the heart of the most absurd, bizarre, and sometimes unsettling curiosities of our planet. Today, we dive into the distant past, to an era where Earth was more terrifying than any horror movie. No, we're not talking about when you tried setting up Wi-Fi without reading the manual, but a period that predates the dinosaurs. Yes, you heard that right. Before dinosaurs became the rock stars of the Mesozoic, there were creatures so strange they made Godzilla look like a plush toy. But why stop there? Did you know that some scientists believe these remote epochs were essential in laying the foundations of life as we know it? Today, we'll explore how these peculiar beings and their bizarre environments shaped our world. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell. Every click is a leap toward new adventures in the world of curiosities. Ready? Let's go. Before the show, Earth as a snowball. Let's start with a period when our planet decided to experience the thrill of being a massive snowball. Yes, the world was covered in ice from poles to tropics. And no, there wasn't any hot chocolate to warm the atmosphere. Then, thanks to a series of volcanic eruptions spewing CO2 at levels that would put the worst city traffic to shame, a greenhouse effect was created. The result? The ice melted, and the landmasses came together to form a supercontinent called Rondania. If you're thinking of a fancy name for a pizza, you're right. It's ridiculously fitting. Imagine how inhospitable this world must have been. Glacial temperatures followed by sudden global warming that turned ice into oceans. And yet, it was in these extreme conditions that life began taking its first steps. Next time you complain about the weather, remember you don't live in an era where a volcano could change everything in an instant. The Ediacaran period, the age of weirdos. Let's take a leap back to about 600 million years ago. Here's the Ediacaran period, where life forms looked like they came straight from a drunk concept artist's sketchbook. One of the stars is Dickinsonia, a soft, oval creature that looks like the unfortunate sibling of a jellyfish. It had the texture of cigarette paper and was still unsure whether it was an animal, plant, or fungus. Spoiler: even scientists in 2018 couldn't solve the mystery, despite finding fat molecules in its fossils. Next up, we have Sharnia masoni, a thing that lived in deep, lightless waters. It had no skeleton, mouth, or intestines. It fed by filtering water, much like your friends who survive on filtered coffee. And let's not forget Kimberella, considered the ancestor of snails. It had a muscular foot for movement and a soft shell, perfect for anyone who loves minimalist travel. But beware. Every fossil of this creature tells a different story. Maybe it wasn't even a mollusk. By the way, Have you ever wondered what it was like for these creatures to live in an era without predators or competition? They probably wandered slowly, exploring a world still devoid of bigger, faster monsters. A true paradise, if we ignore the total absence of Wi-Fi. The Cambrian. When nature went all out with creativity. Let's move to the Cambrian period, about 520 million years ago, when marine life decided to show off its best. We start with Anomalocaris, a 1-meter-long predator that looked like a giant shrimp armed to the teeth. It was the terror of trilobites, who hoped to survive during their molting phase. And speaking of bizarre, here's Opabinia, another Cambrian superstar. This tiny 7-centimeter creature had 5 eyes and a proboscis with a claw at the end. Basically, a vintage version of a multifunctional kitchen robot. Imagine yourself in the primordial sea, surrounded by these oddities staring at you from 5 different directions. Then there's Wiwaxia, an oval creature covered in plates and spines. Its survival tactic? It resembled a dazzling beetle, reflecting light to confuse predators. Basically, the David Bowie of the Cambrian. Let's not forget the trilobites, true icons of this era. These beings, with compound eyes made up of thousands of lenses, dominated the ocean floors. Some had decorative spines that made the most elaborate carnival costumes look tame. While their lives were mostly spent on the seabed, their variety was incredible: predators, filter feeders, and even scavengers. The Ordovician, animals and coral reefs. Let's move forward in time to the Ordovician period, around 470 million years ago. Here we find the first giant mollusks, like the nautiloids, which could reach 6 meters in length. They moved by jet propulsion, like an eco-friendly private jet. These ocean giants were relentless predators and could be found everywhere in the ancient seas. This is also the period of the first coral reefs, built by sponges and other creatures. These underwater shelters provided protection to an increasingly diverse fauna. Imagine an Airbnb for fish, but without negative reviews. We can't forget the great mass extinction that hit the Ordovician. About 85% of marine species disappeared, paving the way for a new evolutionary phase. But nature is resilient, and this disaster allowed for the emergence of more sophisticated creatures in the subsequent periods. Conclusion. And here we are at the end of this journey through time, one that took us from ice ages to sea monsters, passing through strange creatures that defy all logic. Before dinosaurs, Earth was an incredibly alien place, full of life that left us fossils as curious as they are fascinating. Which of these creatures impressed you the most? Let me know in the comments. And now, a final appeal. If you enjoyed this journey through prehistoric curiosities, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with your friends. Every subscriber is a new companion on this quest to uncover a world full of oddities. And remember, prehistory might seem distant, but its lessons are still incredibly relevant today. Until the next adventure, curious explorers of the world.